Hello again, guys. I'm in my cold room. I'm gonna do a sort of album review. It's hard for me to look at the camera. If it looks like I'm reading off a page when I start this, it's because I am. I keep looking over at myself to see where the camera actually is, so I'm not really looking at you. I'm I just listened to the new Mest album that just came out on Spotify. I'm not sure if it's been out for a little while or not, but I just found out it was out. I heard the first three singles. Well, I don't know if they were singles, but the first three songs they released off of it already. But anyway, I'm just gonna get into it. It's not really an album review, but sort of an album review. It's just my own take on stuff. And even though some of my favorite lines and the reason why isn't really what he's talking about in the songs, it's just a relatable line, you know? So, anyway, I'm gonna get right into it. So, the album is called Mest Masqurade. The first song is the title track, Masquerade. Um, this is one I've heard already before. It's different than normal Mest songs. If you knew Mest before, like Cadillac and stuff like that, it's different than that. Actually, most of the album is. Um, I still love the song. My favorite line from the song is I'll wear a mask and play this game. I'll wear the mask and I'll play this game. The reason why behind it is because for me, like I said before, I've always uh, wore a mask, quote, pretending to always be happy and be okay when things are not really all right in life. And though I know that's probably not exactly what he's talking about in the song, it's still, for me, the line relatable, like I said already at the beginning of the video. And the second song, it's called Dead End Street. It sounds a little more like Mest uh, than uh, than the first song. Like, you can still tell it's Mest by the guy's voice in that one, but uh, in the Masquerade, but the beat, the upbeat pop punk sound isn't there as much as it is in Dead End Street. And it's real good to me. I like the song. It's a real good pop punk feel song. I don't really have a favorite line from the song. Uh, the lyrics would have been more relatable to me about 2 years ago than they are now, but I still really like the song. Uh, the third song is Almost Forgot. To me, it's a great song. It has a lot of relatable lyrics to me. And my favorite line, it was hard for me to pick just one from this one, but because I have to, sorta. Later on, I go and pick like the whole chorus of one song, but I'm breaking from the pressure and it feels like no one understands was my favorite line from the song. And why? Again, like I said earlier in other video, I've always been kind of a joker, uh, trying to make everyone around me laugh, even when I'm going through my own shit and I don't really feel like being that person. It's, but it's hard to not be that person when you've already started to be that person, right? So, anyway, number 4, It's called Answers. Another great one for me, and it was hard to pick just one line too, but I went with this one was all. Oh, never mind. Sorry, that that was already read. Uh, they they got knocked down and they gave up the fight. And for me, why it is, well, I've had my own personal struggles, as I've mentioned, and have thought I'd be better off if I just gave up. But the thing is, like, if I just gave up, then I wouldn't have the good things that I do have right now in my life th- that I have now. I basically said that already. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little bit tired. It's early again. The fifth song is I Am Right Here. Another one that was kind of hard to tell that it was Mest, but it was still alright song. And my favorite line from that one is there's a part of me that is easily left to wonder if you still care. And why? Sorry, my finger's in the way. And unfortunately, I don't have any editing software, so I can't make the videos better. It's all live shit. So, and why? Because the idea of this is still runs through my head all the time. That though it's all in my head, the feeling of not being good enough for anyone or never being good enough for anyone is still in my head. I'm trying to read it off the paper, but I'm kind of just making up my own words anyway, because even though I wrote it down, it's not coming out the same way as it was on the paper. Anyway, it's really hard to get rid of that feeling after it started, and it's all started from past relationships, not just girlfriends, past girlfriends, but family and friends too. And number 6, it's called The Numbers. Only song so far I didn't really get into that much. It doesn't sound like Mest. I think the singer was a different singer. I don't know how many songs they've had in the past that they did that, but none of the songs I liked was always the same guy. My favorite line was No More Disguises. No more disguises left to hide. I wrote it down, kind of fucked up. My own writing is not very legible. Why it's my favorite line? Again, I've said it before. I'd love to be able to be more open with the people I love. So, like, no more disguises, just complete openness. But I'm not there yet. Hopefully, eventually. Number 7 is called Don't Worry, Son. This is one I was talking about earlier. I personally don't have any kids myself. But when I was younger, I could see my parents saying some of the lines to me. My favorite line was the whole chorus. Days will come and go, you will make it through it all. Years will pass us by, I'll remain by your side. So don't worry, life has just begun. No, don't worry, son, because life has just begun. Why? Though I'm older now, I could still see my parents saying something like that to me. That they're still there for me through all my hard times. They still help me out as much as they can. And yeah, but basically that's it. And the next song, it's called The Upside Down, which is another one I heard before. It sounds like a Mest song again, which is good. My favorite line from this one was, when did the world change? Feels like I'm in the upside down, which is part of the chorus as well. Why it's my favorite line? Well, some days I feel like my life is spinning kind of out of control, and I feel like I'm living upside down. Well, being on afternoons, I kind of do live upside down that way. Everybody's at work while I'm home, and everybody's home when I'm at work and then sleeping by the time I get off. And also, I'm not who I used to be, and I'm not who I want to be, at least not yet. The next song, number 9, is Running Away. It sounds really good at the start. It's a good song all the way through, but only if you like pop punk stuff. My favorite line was, I hide the pain I won't show, and you guys probably already know if you watched my other videos and everything. Though this song has to do with things I don't relate to at this time, that line is something I can relate to. As I've said many times, I hide anything I'm going through from the people I love and care about. I more try to make people laugh, like I said. Number 10 is called These Streets, and it doesn't really sound like a Mest song either. It's like trying to be rap pop punk. I think that's the one. Yeah, it is. My favorite line is Jerry had real potential, but to the life of drugs is how he'd lose. And the reason why is, well, I live in this town, and a lot of my own family or friends that I used to have or still have, pretty much all you have to do is change the name from Jerry to somebody else, and that's their story too. Now, this has been a pretty long video already, but number 11, I don't really care for the way I have to do this, so I don't know, I might wait a little while before the next album review. I don't know, because holding the camera and then the light getting in the way, shining on it, I don't really like that. Well, anyway, number 11, There's No Basement at the Alamo. And again, there's not really a lot for me to say about this song. It didn't sound like Mest again. I'm pretty sure this is another one with the other singer. The other guy's in it too, but it just doesn't have that feel as much. And for my favorite line, I don't really have one for this one. Number 12, I was also trying to get through this near the end, so that might be why I cut that a little short. And then the last song is called The Silence Left Behind. It's a slower song, but I still really liked it. My favorite line was, there was nothing relatable to my life at this time, but in my past there was. So I just put in, for my favorite line, 'cause I'm alone again, empty bottles covering the floor. And the reason why is because that's what I normally do in a situation that I don't like. I turn to alcohol. So that's basically it for the album. I would have given that, like, I would give this a higher rating, and originally I was going to, until those few songs kind of hit, but were misses, I mean. It's more, for me, out of 5 stars, I'd probably give it 3.5. 3 or 4. 4 at most, probably 3.5. If you like pop punk, though, it's got some good stuff for you. And anyway, I'm hoping that maybe tomorrow before I go to work, I might elaborate more on the other video, and I won't be reading off a page, and I won't be as tired as I am now, so it might go better than this. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening and watching. If you like Mest, then you'll like this album, at least some of it. Like and subscribe if you want. If you don't want to, then don't. Talk to you later.